Hello and welcome to session number 4 of Adobe Photoshop with Mr. Arnold. Today we are going to be using the clone stamp and I'll show you how to use it to make some fun little special effects. First, let us open your file. So go to your file menu, choose open, or the hotkey Control O, excuse me. On your desktop you'll see a folder called Photoshop Files and you want to choose the Farmer. Go ahead and click open. As you can see, if we zoom in here, if you press your zoom tool over here on the left, or press Control plus and minus, you can see that this guy has some wrinkles that are, I don't know, just about as deep as the Grand Canyon, if you want to put it that way. But I'm going to show you how to go ahead and make these disappear. We're going to give them a smooth face. And to do that, we need to first create a new layer, like this. Have your Layers panel open, and then hit the New Layer icon. And then we're going to choose what's called the clone stamp, which is right here. Now if you don't see the clone stamp and maybe the pattern stamp, just remember hold the button down on the tool and then hit clone stamp. That's what you're going for. But first we need to do a couple things. Let's take over here on the top on your taskbar, let's change this, or to options bar if you will, change that from current layer to all layers. All right, and this will allow you to sample certain areas and then get rid of them. And I'm going to show you how to get started. So the first thing we need to do is let's adjust the brush size. Up here on your options bar, let's change that. Right now 21 is a bit large, so let's go ahead and shrink that down. Let's try 15 to start with. That'll do it. And you can, do it, you can go ahead and increase and decrease the values as needed. But I think a good place to start will most likely be, let's try over here around the lower, I guess that would be his right eye. Left and looking at you. Alright, anyhow, this is how you get started. What we have to do first is take a sample, okay? And to do that, you hold down the Alt key, which is located on either side of your space bar. Hold down your Alt key and you'll notice that the cursor has just changed to like this little crosshair. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that down and click one time, and that's going to sample that area. And if you notice, when I take my cursor over here, over this wrinkle, you'll see that it kind of changes the appearance. Now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to hold the button down on my mouse. I'm going to click and drag, and you can see a little plus sign, and that's covering over the area that I just sampled, and I just made the wrinkle disappear. Now very often what you're going to have to do is resample, so I'll press the Alt key again, click once and let go of the Alt key, and now I'm going to come over here and get rid of this one. As you can see, it's just very subtle. Now there's other things you could do too. You can make it to where, if I come over here and then have it start coming around. The one thing that you do have to be careful of, ladies and gentlemen, though, is let's say that I'm working over, if I'm going to do a wrinkle like over here on this side or something, or better yet, if I'm doing this wrinkle right here, make sure that you leave enough room for your sample to go over, because this can happen too. Let's say I go ahead and sample it right here, and I started working on this guy's wrinkle over here, and oh no, all of a sudden the background is starting to get in there. If that happens to you, it's no big deal. We can always undo it by pressing Control Z. And if you've gone way off the charts, we can always go to the History panel, which is right here, and you can always undo the last couple of steps. But what I want you to focus on today is just getting into the habit of sampling and then making your adjustment. Try to match the skin as best you can. I know it can be difficult, like for up here. I'm going to go in the darker areas, and then I'll get rid of that guy. As you can see, that's a little too light, so what I'll do is get rid of that one. And just make my way around. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you go about doing that. And you can actually get a job retouching photos, or offer this to people that you know. If they have a really bad photo, it's like, oh, my wrinkles, I need to get rid of them. Well, that's something you can offer. It's like, hey, for a couple of bucks or maybe a sandwich and a Coke, you can go ahead and give me a sandwich and a Coke, and I'll take care of those wrinkles for you and make it look like you've never had any. As you can see, I'm already taking years off of his appearance. It's virtual Botox, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very popular. Alright, so with that being said, what you want to make sure you do is always create a new layer, have it to your clone stamp, and then what I would like you to do is make sure the sample is to all layers. Alright, any questions? I'm glad you don't have any questions. So what I want you to do is just continue working on and stay tuned for part 2, That's where it gets fun. All right, let me show you the one last thing too. If I turn off the background layer, you can see all the areas that I've cloned right there. And then if I turn off layer 1, oh no, look, he's going from young to old, or younger to older. I don't know, it kind of looks like I drip wax on his face, but either way, we'll make that work. Let me change the blending mode and see what happens. Oh, that makes it look even worse. Leave that on normal. All right, at any rate, I want you to keep going and stay tuned for part 2.